Good morning. I'm Erica Curry, the Education Diversity Director here at Oregon Realtors, and I wanted to share with you some fair housing resources for education that you as an Oregon Realtor have access to. As an Oregon Realtor, as part of the National Association of REALTORS, you have access to Fairhaven. Fairhaven is a fantastic self-paced training that puts you through simulations on fair housing and asks you to consider how you would respond. This resource is fantastic if you haven't already had the opportunity. It takes about an hour to complete, and if you mess up, that's okay. It'll walk you through how to respond better the next time. This is a free resource, again, available to all realtors at fairhaven.realtor. I also want to share the Fair Housing Council of Oregon's resources under at fhco.org. They've got not only the link to report housing discrimination and get involved, but a whole suite of education between their training presentations, their upcoming courses, pre-recorded classes, and their resource link. This resource link is where we find the list of Oregon protected classes by county and a lot more. So we highly recommend that you get yourself familiar with the Fair Housing Council of Oregon's website. Again, we also have a series of 1 to 2 hour webinars, 1 to 3 hour webinars that we highly recommend between the Language of Allyship, the Better Way to Talk About Schools, which talks about fair housing and segregation in schools, and how we help clients and avoid steering and talking about schools. We also have the Fair Housing Summit, which featured Richard Rothstein in The Color of Law, as well as talking about fair housing historically and nationally, as well as presentations on Oregon's fair housing policy and history and very recent history, as well as the future of fair housing here in Oregon. Not anyone, but many of the people who attended this Fair Housing Summit said it was some of the best CE they'd ever experienced. Diversity in sales, how inclusive language helps close deals, everyday people, everyday needs, fair housing for transgender and gender non-conforming clients, housing discrimination through historical lens. This is another presentation through the Fair Housing Council of Oregon and our partnership with them. This class gives you if you don't know the history of Oregon and why this state demographically looks the way it does, I highly recommend this training. And then The Color of Housing, a deeper look into Long Island Divided and the issue of realtor steering. This is that Newsweek exposé that was the splash across the nation right around 2020. Bill Dedman, the key journalist for that program, came and spoke with us about Long Island Divided. To get to all of these resources, you would go to Professional Development On-Demand Education at OregonRealtors.org and click on Browse the Oregon Realtors Recorded Webinar Catalog. You can also, from here, go to our class schedule. And from our class schedule, we will often have many classes available, including this bias override class that's happening in January 2023. This is an NAR certification on overcoming your bias barriers to address fair housing and help real estate professionals interrupt stereotypical thinking. We also offer, from this schedule, you'll also find our free quarterly webinars on fair housing or diversity topics. So keep a lookout for those. Finally, through NAR and their Center for Realtor Development, they offer the At Home with Diversity certification course. You can take this online, or you can join a virtual. So this online class is self-paced. You can also join a virtual class if you'd like to work with other people. Those are the resources that we at Oregon Realtors wanted to highlight. There's many more fair housing education resources that we would love for you to, if you have favorites or you have recommendations, please drop those in the comments below the video.